So welcome to the Node.js Community Security Working Group team meeting for Security Working Group meeting for January 3rd, 2019. We'll start with the standard agenda as outlined in the issue. So first of all, does anybody have any announcements that they'd like to share?
Sure. So a little while back, we had a brief discussion about integrity checks being added to Node. The PR has gone mostly silent from the objectors, so I'm going to try to land it flagged in the next few days or early next week. So if you have any final objections, go there.
You have
And
the issue number that you can post in the link. Add it to the
put it
minutes.
in the notes. So that's one announcement. And then there's a second announcement. The modules working group wanted to get in touch with the Realms people who work in TC39 for some stuff. If anybody wants to join calls from the TC39 side with some security stuff, just get a hold of me and we can get you added to the invite list. So that's it.
Okay, just taking a note on that. Are there any links to issues or anything like that with more details that we could add in there as well?
There's one on the modules working group. We can just share it for now since it's just telling people where to go.
Yeah, just an existing issue like that would be perfect.
Yeah. Basically, just join this Google group, which is named for historical reasons, and then that'll get you added to calendar stuff. That's it.
Okay, what was did you paste that Google group somewhere?
I put it in the notes.
No, it's in the module issues, right? Okay.
And we're just gonna close that issue because it's just used to tell people where to go.
Okay, so we got more info in there. Okay, any other announcements? If not, okay, we'll move on to the issues that were tagged for the agenda. The first one is Node.js Security Working Group. Nominate Matt Austin to join the Security Working Group and Triage team. I think, Lauren, you raised that one.
Yep. So if anyone has any objections or doesn't have any objections, we'll proceed with that. We got already a couple of +1s on it.
I will close one right
suggest, what is it?
I will close one right now.
Oh, awesome. So Matt is working on contrast, and he has been active on the Slack channel for quite a while. Not commenting too much, but on some of it he had stuff to say. So generally stale most of the time anyway. And he has also some experience, at least for the last 4 years, I think, working at Node. So he's interested to try and work with us on some of it, especially I think the triage, which would use a lot of help so that we don't get paused all the time on the ecosystem program. So sounds okay with everyone.
Okay, so I just took some notes, said, if anybody objects, comment in the issue. Otherwise, he'll be on board in the next week. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, the next issue was 415, which is vulnerabilities from academics.
415, yeah. So I actually, that's on me. I actually reached out to Davis. We talked, we tried to schedule for I think it was last or 2 weeks ago, but we both kind of had to reschedule again. And basically it's still the same status. I haven't had a chance to connect with him. Okay. I'm just going to try and ping him again, see if you get his availability and just work on it. So the idea with that is just to try and see if we can float some of those vulnerabilities from academics or any resources that he has to the HackerOne program, or basically just PR them to the vulnerability database, and that's it. But I need some information from him first about it, so it's still stale. We can probably remove the security working group agenda at this point.
Okay, if you want to go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Some of the. Okay. The next one is number 402, refactor report ID to be auto-generating.
Yeah, I think that's also mine. Just a sec.
Yep.
Yeah, it's too little.
Yeah. So, oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Just looking at a different one. 412. So I think it was a discussion with. It keeps sending me to something else. My bad. It's 412 or 402.
It's 402.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So that's the one with Sam. So I'll try to summarize it as we went a lot forward and a bit to think back with some jumping in and, rightfully okay to just run us about the change.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is that we are going to do two things that are potentially going to be breaking or moving the database. One is moving all the database of the vulnerabilities to the different repo that Vladimir has created and will own the process for that. So all the volumes will just move to somewhere else anyway. And this ticket specifically kind of says that we are going to also change the ID so that we can also regenerate the report IDs automatically and not manually. What I think Sam was pointing out, and rightfully as well, is that I don't think we have made it clear that we are also going to change old reports IDs. So if a report ID we created, like the incremental one, like 5415 or something like that, I was assuming that we are going to also change those as well, like retroactively, and we can have I detail the path that we can kind of still save some compatibility. For example, we can still leave like old, original ID something, and then just leave the original one. And we can also we can also create like a CSV export with like a mapping between the old and the new. So anyone who's like working on a database or integrating with it, he has like a really easy a CSV or JSON upgrade path to just kind of map it internally if they're doing that. So I think we should probably anyway do that regardless of what we decide. But I think the end of the bottom line of what I'm trying to say after all the intro is, I think Sam is saying we should try not to change the old IDs, the old report IDs. And that's kind of the open question that we have, if we want to do that or not at this point.
I guess there's two things. Like, one is changing the format of the IDs can break, say, an existing tool or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess if then on the other hand, so like that would stop you, even if we left the old one, that would stop you from getting updates, right?
What do you mean? Why? Because we're also moving the repository to a different one?
Well, no, just like if you change the ID format and the tool uses the old format, it's going to be broken, right? Like,
yeah.
So even if you left all the old IDs as aliases, you wouldn't get new things, right?
Yeah, because it's a different field type as well. We're gonna move to strings from numbers right now, or
right.
IDs, integers.
Right. So then the question in my mind comes down to is like, okay, leaving to me, changing the format is the bigger part of the two. If you can leave the old format, the old IDs as aliases, that's good, but you're still potentially broken some things.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, have we socialized it? I mean, my quick read was, we've socialized that we're moving the database, but have we socialized that the IDs are changing?
Yeah, I think from that perspective we did, but I think Sam's point was that we didn't say that we are also changing like the old ones, not just the new ones. I think that was the point. But yeah, we gave I think from socializing this and announcing it enough time for this to be out there for someone to pick it up and even ask us this question like Sam did.
Right.
So from that perspective, I think we are okay. But
Yep.
If we want to decide to keep the old ones, I'm also generally okay with that. I mean, we can do it as a gradual step. Like we can just keep the old ones as they are, and the new ones, we'll create in the new way, and we can move all of that at once, and then afterwards we can also say, the next 3 months we're also making a change to change all the old ones to be compatible with the new ones, and then it gives you some time to upgrade for that. But if we're anyway going to do it, then I think we've been enough time that we can also just do it now instead of later.
I mean, I think in my mind, it'd be good to, if we can leave the old, if the new and old don't conflict, then leaving the old ones there doesn't really hurt anything. Just doing that and duplicating them. Like, I think you'd want to be able to get all the IDs using the new format, so that if you change your tool to use the new format, you're not only getting part of the data. So my suggestion would be like have everything that has a new ID. So I guess you'd end up with 2 IDs for the old ones.
This is okay, but the thing is that right now we have for each report like an actual ID field,
Right?
And I'm going to change it so like its format is going to change for the new reports.
Right. Okay.
I don't want to call them like new IDs because that's just going to be confusing, when we change those as well. New, old, what is what.
Right. Okay. So it's not the name. Okay. So it's the contents of the report itself.
Yeah. So so the new reports are going to be created with a new format, but the existing field ID is going to change from the old, 1, 2, 3 to the new format that we're going to choose.
Is there any problem? Sorry.
No, David, go ahead.
No, is there any problem? Because I mean that's going to be super kind of tricky. What I will suggest is like, what if we do a cutoff points tomorrow or whenever it's ready, and then we start using the new IDs. So up to the report 730 something will be the old IDs, and then after that will be the new IDs.
Yeah, that might be the way to go.
Can you walk through that, because I didn't hear
Yeah, so we have the ID field, and the ID field is a random string, so we don't really it's not random, it's NS, like the prefix that we have.
Yeah,
and then
the new one, right?
Yeah, so like if the last one is 437 right now and we switch to the new one, so there won't be 438, there will be like NS working group and then the new ID. So at some point we change the numbers for the alphanumeric.
Oh yeah, like I think this is the point to do it. Like how we will change everything is the migration will run and we'll also change the old ones to this new one.
My idea is don't change the old ones, just leave it there.
Like as 1, 2, 3?
Yeah. And then the new ones will be just alphanumeric.
Yeah, so this is the suggestion that we can go with. I think this is kind of the bottom line of this. The only thing is that so first of all, from us, we would have to support, from the test and the validations, 2 kind of fields, right? Like an ID one and the string one and the test and everything. And anyway, it will, like I think Michael said, it might break someone consuming it anyway, because it's like a different format, right? You're changing the API for the report anyway. So like I don't.
But I think it's like changing the name of something that's already out there is like we may be better off just leaving it as it, the old ones as is, and then there's new IDs going forward. And
the problem I have renaming the old ones is it is transactional data. So someone might have that as a hard reference in their database.
Yeah,
and that could be.
Yeah, of course. But we have, like, the idea was to have for the old ones, like, to generate a new ID for them, but also to keep, like, original ID field and then keep the reference for that. Because I mean, even if someone kind of references the exact URL on GitHub, they're not it's gonna break anyway, because we're moving to the new repository. So a hard link will not work anyway.
Yeah.
I'm good with this option to leave them. I'm just thinking people would anyway need to upgrade to that and make changes if you're consuming it.
That's
like everything will change. So
I think it would be I'm thinking, like, why don't we leave those as is, make the first change, and there'll be some feedback as to whether that's broken people or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe you said like considering renaming them later on would make sense.
Yeah, we can do it like 2 steps, a gradual migration. That's also really good, I think.
Yeah, makes sense. Also, do we need to send an announcement on Twitter or somewhere saying that we are planning to rename the IDs? So major providers like Sneak or others should
So
just for that, yeah.
Yes, so I think that was Michael asking before with the socializing, if that's what I understood from it. So I think we did that.
Okay.
But like, yeah, we did that like 3 months ago or something. Like I don't really remember exactly when, even more maybe. So like if we are all in agreement on this and gonna roll it out, I will obviously do it tomorrow before we are actually going to do it. And like I will give like a couple of weeks for everyone to just catch this. Might even open maybe a new meta issue just for people that have signed up to the repository would get like a new issue, a new announcement coming up. Yeah, we can. Yeah, I think that might cover that.
Yeah, I think some publicity saying, as we announced, 3 months ago, we're doing this, and we can all tweet and get the Node account to retweet and stuff, and just saying we're moving forward on this date would be good.
Mm-hmm. By the way, another thing, I think that all the references to our vulnerabilities are actually not using the IDs. They are referencing HackerOne. Yeah, I think they're referencing like HackerOne as resource.
I just checked that. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, right. I mean, like I didn't check every one advisory that went out on every platform, but I think that this is what I noticed when people reference us. So I think it's not really going to break anything specific unless someone was counting on it, but yeah.
It always seems for Node, somebody gets broken by stuff.
Yeah, okay, but I'm gonna comment on the issue to basically agree with Sam on doing this as a gradual change. Like for now, we'll not update everything, and I think afterwards, like if we can consider maybe just making also the old ones use the new IDs or something. That would make sense.
Sounds good. Okay, anything more on that one before we move on to the next issue? I guess really the next issue is the same issue, right? It's migrate vulnerability database to its own repo.
I think that one is Vladimir's task. I don't know.
Yeah, but we basically just had the same discussion, right?
They're not really tied. They're different.
Yeah.
So this one is actually moving the vulnerabilities to the different security advisories repos.
Right.
And the other one is just the formats, and also discussing this with Vladimir. I think we said that between us, we don't really want to tie the 2 changes together, so we can like just apply all the new format, and whenever we move to the new repo, we just sync those as well. So.
Okay. So anything to discuss on that one, or is it just that it's going forward as well?
I think it's just waiting for Vladimir to pick it up a bit. That's it. And of course, if anyone wants to just review what's going on in the security advisories repos and see if there's anything they can help with, or just jump on anything to speed it up, I think Vladimir would appreciate it as well.
Sounds good. Okay, so that's everything that we had on the agenda. Are there any other things people want to talk about?
I have something, and I got a couple of messages on the HackerOne program for the third-party vulnerabilities about how long it takes for a CVE to assign. And I know we have discussed that before, but is there something that we can do to speed up the CVE assignment?
How are you doing this today?
Through HackerRank,
just requesting the CV from the online web report?
Yeah.
Okay. So
how long is it taking?
I am actually not sure. I can check, but let me see. I requested once on the, well, actually probably because Christmas, but I know the email is super slow, but through the website, I don't know right now. I need to check.
So I don't know of any way to speed it up, but yeah, it would be interesting, I think, to figure out with regards to what Michael said about like how long does it take to assign that.
I will find out. Yeah.
If it's a day or two, it's like, okay, I don't think I'd complain too much. If
Yeah, no, it's not that one. It's more, I think.
Yeah.
So wait, just a sec. I just remembered something that I think we should look into. I won't share my screen for that, but if we go to the program settings to request CVEs, we can see if what's the status for some of them. So I'm seeing a lot of CVEs that are in a status of needs action, which usually means that we didn't give them enough information, so it could be stuck for that. So we should probably, I'll go ahead through that list and I'll ping you on the Slack channel with the exact models that we have that needs the action, and everyone can just work on.
I created one like 3 days ago, and I think they went straight away into this needs action. I think the needs action means that the people from HackerOne are actioning on it to provision the CV, I think.
Yeah, so the needs action here is they would need to wait for it to be public before they can submit it. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
So I'm going to post it on the channel anyway, so you can see. But if there's one thing specific that you want to check, we can also check it.
No, it's fine. It's just to make sure that we are doing the right thing. So.
Yeah, if you want to gather some data, like for how long it's taking, and based on that, we can see if we think it's a problem or not. We can always go to them and say, if it's taking too long, saying, hey, is there any info? The only other option is like being our own CNA, but that then requires additional work to manage the CVEs ourselves. So.
Yeah, it's not an easy call. So.
Yeah. The other thing I will mention is they're setting up a CNA conference. They have one, like I think once a year for CNAs, and since we act as the node CNA, we could send somebody. So if anybody's interested, let me know and I'll forward them on the email that I got saying, hey, participate in the poll or whatever for the timing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anything else?
And for me, I was just saying it might be worth to just ask maybe in the team Slack or something if someone wants to join that.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea.
Or the meeting notes or something. So if someone reads it and interested, they can just ping you.
Yep. Okay, any other topics for this week? If not, I'll call it a day and close the meeting.
Right.
Talk to everybody next time. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.